Well, it would seem as though Venom's getting his own movie, and, well, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to review the trailer without him getting on to me for no apparent reason. Or for very good reasons I wouldn't know of yet. Now, let me see where I can start off. The character first, himself. Venom is a symbiote that seems to take over the host, that gives him superpowers, he to shapeshift and whatnot, the same things that Spider-Man can do and more. But in this one, it seems it's some random reporter that just has the ability to shapeshift and, well, shapeshifting super strength, the ability to climb on walls like Spider-Man, and shoot essentially himself. What can I say, the premise of the whole thing? I'd say basically it's the whole thing of aliens take over the world. An alien slime taking over the world. Much like a horror film, you may say, only in the sense of the premise. Which, coupled with the character's history of being basically a very heartless killer machine that has very little regard as to human life at all, that would make it even more terrifying. Another thing you'd also notice, I'd say, is there's a good amount of CGI in this. Like I can say Venom looks really sleek and deadly, like he is supposed to. All the scenes where I don't care much for the glitch effect having to do with him, where you see, instead of just Venom turning into a slime on his host or victim, you may say, he just glitches in and out of existence. But with the only reason against that is because, well, he is a symbiote, he is a slime creature, which, honestly speaking, has, well, basically a biology of its own. It's not a computer virus or anything like that. Another thing I'd easily say is Venom's personality. He seems to have his own identity and whatnot. He even refers to himself as, look into my eyes. And refers to people individually with different things, with different pronouns, I mean. But when there is a certain scene where he's saying, first we're going to eat your arms, then your legs, and then your face right off your head, and the clerk asks, who are you? And he says, we are Venom. Honestly speaking, this can easily go into the personality, the character himself again. And yes, I do, okay, never mind all that. You might want to also have me go into the history. Yes, Spider-Man was the one that first had his debut with the Venom suit. It was just a recoloring of it back then, but even so, you can easily say they wanted to find a very legitimate way to switch back to the original suit, so they figured a way to make a new character and switch back. And, well, Venom was created. After a while, the Fantastic Four found out the thing was alive, tried to get it off. Spider-Man electrocuted it. And because Venom was enraged about the whole thing of being rejected, now his power is almost multiplied by the fact that if you have a hatred for Spider-Man, you know where this is going. Yeah, I honestly can say that if there is anything like this, you can easily say there may be something having to do with, well, possession. Parts of, like in this first fight, he's saying, Eddie is saying, I'm sorry. Venom asking Eddie if we have a deal. Well, and even it would seem as though that Eddie, the more human and rational part of Venom, would seem to have very little control over what Venom actually does. And yes, you can easily say, hey, oh come on, that could be any kind of creature. Think of it. Abusive relationships, and he even refers to it as a parasite at one time, and even another one says, my powers aren't all bad. But what can I say? I'm just the kitty bat that just came back from the worst of my nightmares, which honestly I'm not even bringing up, and came back here to give you this. I do say that I kind of like the idea of an anti-character getting his own film. I do hope he gets his own game, though. Let's just say it that way. And keeping in with the whole thing, I would easily say if he got his own game and you got able to play as Venom, I don't mean the reskin of Spider-Man, I mean the actual Venom, I would actually buy that. I would actually buy 3 different copies of it. And I'd make sure to keep all 3 of them. Anyway, I'm Sunset the Good Bat. Have yourself a fantastic night and a perfect day. Make sure you like, share this video, subscribe. I am not going to be covering the trailers or the movies. This is just a one-time event. A one and done, you may say. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching this video. If you like this, please subscribe. Every bit does help, actually. And if you like this video, also give it a thumbs up and make sure to send this off to your friends or whatever enemies there may be that you do have that you want to get rid of. Anyway, my name is Sunset the Bat. I will be seeing you in the next video. Have yourself a fantastic